Hi, hey, hello, kumusta? It's Justice Savannah. Welcome to this podcast. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you. With that being said, get your cups and thoughts ready as we brew your random dose of coffee and the psyche. Since the last episode, there's a lot that has happened. One of them being me getting sick. I have such a bad itchy throat plus dry cough. Even right now, I am still recovering, and it's just crazy because I was the last one to get it. My husband, Kylo, felt it 2 days before I did, and then Friday after Thanksgiving, when we were having our Thanksgiving feast, that's when I felt my throat not being good. I felt it getting so dry and like there's just something stuck in my throat. Saturday, we went out to check the Black Friday sales, and we were only out for like 3 hours stops. But when we got home, I just killed. I was feeling so bad. I kept having dry coughs and Kylo as well. So basically, we were just exchanging coughs. And apparently, there's something going around that might be because of how dry the weather is. It's cold, yes, but it's also very dry. So all week, these past 2 weeks, I was just trying very hard to recover. I was having a cup of tea every morning and night just so my throat would get better. On Saturday of this week, we went to the bowling alley for our nephew's fourth birthday party, and it was so fun that I lost a nail for it. It's just a press on though, and I am not good at bowling at all. I had to use my left hand just so it won't be a gutter ball because I felt like I was putting either too little or too much force on my dominant hand, which is my right hand. Anyways, on to our topic. It's the second week of December. It is winter weather, as I have mentioned earlier, which also means it's so cold and so dry outside that everybody is getting sick the moment December hits. December 1st rolled in, and I can already name like 7 people who got sick. And it's honestly crazy to get sick in this economy because healthcare is expensive. OTC medicine, over the counter medicine, is expensive. Everything is expensive. Whichever part of the country you live in, everything just very extremely costs a lot of money. Now, this takes me back to a moment in my life where whenever I get sick or my younger sister would get sick, our parents and grandparents do these things, these at home remedies that make us feel 100 times better. And they actually, like, I can attest to that. I'm still alive. These things work. We will start it off with number one. Whenever I complain, because I complain to my mama about the smallest things, especially when I was a teenager. Whenever I complain to her about my throat getting itchy, the first thing she gives me is this salt plus water gargle. She says, quote unquote, this removes the toxins and the bacteria because of the salt. End of quote. I don't know how scientifically correct that is, but that's how she led us to believe all these years. And I would gargle the moment I wake up and after I eat and before I go to bed. I gargle that salt plus water. A few days ago though, when I asked Mama about this, she said I should have added vinegar because she claims that that's how she did it back then. But I just don't remember having vinegar breath because of a gargle. Like, I don't remember ever putting vinegar with my salt plus water rinse. Take note, it has to be lukewarm water though, like a little bit warm, but not too much that you get your mouth burned. Just a lukewarm water with salt. Number two, boiling ginger and later on mixing honey in a cup. I hated when mama forced us to drink this every time we were sick. I hated the taste of ginger. When I was a teenager, I would rather feel all the pain and just slowly bed rot rather than recover quickly just so I wouldn't have to drink this ginger honey tea. But later on, I can attest to its effectiveness. It definitely soothes a sore throat, and if you have a cold, it really helps you get your immunity back up. Since we're talking about ginger, I would also like to mention how Mama lola, and basically most of my tita, the women in our family. Wait, one second. I just said that word so slang. Tita. Tita. I've only been in the US for a few months. I have no right to. I'm so sorry. Um, Tita. All of them eat ginger. Well, I mean, it has to be cooked, obviously. But for example, we have sauteed spinach, kangkong, for dinner. Mama is always the first one to grab the ginger and just eat it for the juice. It honestly, I can't comprehend that because I just don't like the taste of ginger at all. But recently I tried it. Kylo was just looking at me dumbfounded. But the kick, the spice that the ginger has, the natural taste of the ginger and its spice, the spice that it has actually does wonders in the throat. Like, can somebody explain that, please? Number three, using oregano. Oregano. I'm gonna say that again. Oregano with my Filipino accent. Oregano. I think the US accent would be oregano. Anyways, it's an herb and it's pretty famous with Italian and Mexican dishes. But in the Philippines, or say our province, or what we grew up to, it's the number one natural remedy for a fever as high as 39 to 40 degrees. Off the top of my head, what my grandma and mama used to do whenever we get sick is get the oregano leaves just outside the house because we have a plant casually doing its own thing outside our house. So they would just pick the leaves out of that plant, pour a little bit of hot water, or either blanch it real quick just so it will get a little warm and you can squeeze the juice out of it. And they would get a towel, damp or dry towel, it doesn't really matter. Then they will place the oregano leaves on our foreheads and tightly secure it using the towel around our head. Like, imagine wearing a bandana. So that's how they do it. They would also put oregano in our socks. I'm sorry that I keep interchanging oregano and oregano with what how I'm talking, but you know my point. Surprisingly, the fever does go away. You definitely feel so much better the next day, especially when you do it overnight. There's also definitely one more thing, but I just don't have the English term for it. But for our native language, there's this thing they call buok. It's my grandma used to use the coconut husk, put some leaves on there, and a few more coconut husk, and light it on fire. And the smell, the scent, she says it was supposed to free you, the one who's sick, free you of the toxins, the bad juju. I don't think she ever called it spirits though, but I think she would refer to it as malain nga hangin, which means bad air. So like a negative air, a bad air. And I can't remember. I don't have the proper term for it and the proper stuff that my grandma used to do. But that thing, surprisingly, was also effective. All those things that I mentioned, especially the use of the herb, please let me know scientifically how it came to be. I think after this episode, I will definitely do my research about it or read more about it. But I do know that it is such an elderly Filipino thing to do with the herb, the oregano, the boiling ginger and stuff. And I think that'll be it for the natural remedies that I was used to growing up. My family isn't such a big fan of over the counter medicines. They didn't like self medicating. Mama, most especially, I do think she got that from my grandparents. Or I feel like she's never gotten the urge to opt for OTC medicine because my Lola was such a good natural healer. She knows her stuff, She knows what natural things to use to make you healthier and make your immune system stronger. And most of all, the stuff that she uses, she can just get from her garden. And because of that, Mama was able to apply knowledge in terms of taking care of a kid from her. I mean, there's this quote that says, be nice to your parents because it's their first time living too. This just came to mind, but the reason for that quote is probably why, for example, young adults or adults, when we become parents ourselves, we look for the help of our own parents. We naturally seek their advice because they already went through this when we were babies. And by asking help from them, we learn and we experience a new side of our parents we didn't know they had because they look too good with our kids. It all goes down to that coat when they had us. They were nervous. It all goes down to that coat. When they had us, they were nervous and didn't know how to navigate life because it was their first time being parents. But when they started having grandchildren, it was as if they had another shot at being parents of a little kid and trying to unlearn, relearn, undo, redo, and just generally do things better because they have the experience. They are more experienced than us being first time parents. Not that I am a parent, no, right now, no, but it's just pure observation from my family. We were such a big family. We are such a big family. Anyways, ending this episode again with what I am grateful for. These past weeks, I am grateful for humidifiers. It allows me to breathe a little bit better inside the house. It relieves my sinus problems, and especially since I stay at home most days, the humidifier is my breath of fresh air. Of course, thank you to my husband Kylo for always making sure it has enough water to run throughout the night when we sleep. Anyways, this has been Justice Savannah serving you your brew of the day. Justice out.